Detroit sports right now on the bottom line.
And here we go on this Friday, May 20th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Do you know? Excuse me. Good afternoon. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Not.
Plug yourself in.
Yeah, you're unplugged.
He's disconnected.
He's disconnected somewhere.
For crying
there
out
we
loud.
go.
Always does
Come
that.
on,
There
it's
it is.
Friday.
Am I
We're
in
trying
there? Am I in there?
Are we
You're
doing
in.
television or radio or YouTube today? What do you
We're
call
doing
it?
a
You
mixture
are
of all three. Check this out. Do you know what today is, my friend?
Friday.
It is May 20th, 1959. Stan James Edwards was born.
SJE?
Hey, SJE's dad's birthday today,
Oh,
man.
Stan.
Happy birthday
to
To you.
Happy
on,
birthday
baby,
to
yes.
you. Oh, there, look, that's in with Lem Barney.
Hall of
Maz.
Famer, Lem Barney,
Maz.
baby.
There you go.
Look
Oh.
at these pictures.
It's Lem Barney, love. Yeah, no, Pops, he and I were supposed to golf earlier today. It got canceled, but happy birthday, Dad. He'll be on the show today, talk a little bit about Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, how that all went down. So
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh as well commented. So happy birthday to Pops, and that's where I'm at right now.
Happy birthday, sir, and we're looking forward to talking to you top of hour number 2. Talking a lot about this Nick Saban situation.
Yeah.
We'll get into that momentarily. And what about Michigan, too? Because the Edwards family, I mean, you guys know what happens at Michigan. We talked a little bit about your situation yesterday, Braylon, and if you were ever approached about taking money, because so many people are like, well, Alabama was the NIL before the NIL.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Wanted to hit you quickly with some basketball. Just last night's games and in NBA. Oh, sorry, Tom Mazawey. I have not said hello to you yet. I got so excited.
Are you
Maz
over
looks at
there?
me. I'm so excited
Are you
for
over
today's
there,
show,
Maz?
Maz.
I just put my hands up. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Maz,
that's all right.
Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hello, brothers.
How you
What's
doing,
going
buddy?
on, buddy?
I'm great, man. It's a Friday. Everyone's happy. It's our favorite day of the week.
It's your favorite guy's birthday, man. I knew you.
I love Stan.
So Maz is walking. We got here at about the same time today, Braylon. He parked across the street. I parked in the structure. And I said, I'll meet you out in front. Seeing Maz walk across Woodward, and he don't
was it
care.
a sight to see?
No, he don't care. He's taking his time.
He's talking on the phone, too.
No. He did not have his phone, but he's taking his time. He wasn't running along, scooting along. He's waving to all the cars.
I wave.
Thank
I say
you.
thank you.
Wave,
Yeah.
say
Say thank you.
thank you.
I know how to time it to get across here.
Yeah, you ain't
I
in no
do.
hurry.
No.
I do it too, man. I learned Neil Rule was the first person I knew parking over there, and Maz as well. So I kind of like stole that from them. It's always a space right there. But I figured out, see, obviously on this side, so on the west side of Woodward, there's the light.
Yep.
So you don't have a problem there. But on the east side, there's no light. You got to push the button.
Kill or be killed.
The secret is
No button.
you got to catch when that light is about to go amber to red, and then it gets a little light, because then when you go out, they can also see that the light is red, and that's when they don't trip.
They
you
slow down.
Yep, you got to wait till amber to red, give them the sign, but then also kind of scoot along a little bit, too. You don't want to think you're taking your time.
It's 6 lanes. It's like a highway.
That's
It
why
is.
but I want you guys to know that's why I pay $6 to park every day.
Yeah.
By the way, because of the other side of Woodward. What is
Yeah.
that side?
The east side
The
of Woodward.
east side of Woodward.
Yeah.
East,
Parked by
west.
the gas station.
Yes, exactly. But that, to get across the east side of Woodward, to me, is kill or be killed, because there is no light.
They got the flags.
Well, they
You got the little
flags.
orange
Now-
flags that you're supposed to
It'd be
wave.
Now,
Right.
last week, let me ask you guys this. Last week, I did park across Woodward, and
Okay.
I had to walk. So I'm standing there. In the first lane, a car comes and stops at the crosswalk.
Right.
There's no light, but
Right.
apparently that's a rule that you stop at the
Of course.
crosswalk. I waited because I didn't see anybody in lanes 2, 3, or 4 wait. Now, the guy that stopped was kind of mad at me that I
Right.
didn't start walking, but I'm like, okay, you're waiting,
But
but
not
nobody
everybody
else
else
is
is
waiting.
waiting.
So what
Yeah.
do you want me to do? at
I
that
got
point?
it down pat, man. I'm not.
You got it.
It don't hurt.
Me and Mazza, we'll help
Yeah.
you the game, man.
We'll show
help
you.
the game.
But you're not going to park there anyway because you're a garage guy.
I'm not very street smart. I'm very, very smart when it comes to the textbooks.
Yes,
I'm
you
very
are.
book smart.
You are.
But I have no common sense whatsoever.
Growing up, I lived. So when growing up, I really lived in Green Acres. Green Acres, right next to Sherwood
Is
Ford.
the place to be.
Hey, farm living is the life for me. But yeah, so when I was in Green Acres, right there, that's Livernois to Woodward, right there on 8 Mile.
Mike O'Hara lives in that neighborhood.
Yeah, he does actually. actually. There's a store right across the street by the park that I used to go to, and I used to cross 8 Mile all the time. So I think I figured it out by jaywalking back then when I was 12 years old. So I got it down to a science.
I went to the school of hard knocks, man. So that's all I got.
And that's, in the end, that is the most important thing, right? I mean, I consider myself a very studious young man who went to the University of Michigan, got a piece of paper for about $100,000, and have no common sense whatsoever. It was
good,
like
man.
Pointless.
There's different types of smarts.
But
man.
I did have fun.
You're a stud.
I will tell you
anyway.
that. Very good. Guys, big show for you today. As I mentioned, Stan Edwards going to join us top of hour number 2. We're really excited to talk to him about that. And obviously, there's some more NIL stuff. Nick Saban spoke yesterday to one of his former teammates, one of his former players who is now on ESPNU radio. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
You brought up the game last night, and we didn't go anywhere.
I'm going right now, baby.
Okay, man. Get
So,
this guy back on track.
Hey, I got the Preakness down for you later too.
We'll talk
we will
about
hit
that.
the Preakness.
I want to hear about these ponies.
All 8 horses?
Nine.
Oh, how doesn't the
Rich
Kentucky
Strike.
Derby winner
Rich
get in
Strike.
there? It makes me
Is
sick.
it too late?
Sick. Yeah, it's
Makes
too
me
late.
sick to my stomach. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. We'd certainly appreciate that. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Over 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. Over 30,000 followers on Twitter now. Not bad for little old Woodward Sports Network.
Woo!
How about
Not
that?
bad.
Doing something, man. Doing some things.
Just little o us.
No doubt about it. So first and foremost, I want to hit you with the NBA game last night, Braylon. All of a sudden, Miami gets out to an 18-8 lead, and you're like, oh, my God, here we go again. Maybe the Heat are that team after dominating the third quarter and ultimately blowing the Celtics out, really, even though the Celtics won 3 of the 4 quarters in Game 1. It felt like a blowout because that third quarter in Game 1 was so the margin
lopsided.
Lopsided. Thank you. That's the word I was looking
Not a
for.
problem.
But in Game 2, after that 18-8 start, it was all Celtics from there. A 25-point blowout, and it was over 20 most of the game.
Yeah. So the reason why you saw the 18-8 is because you reinsert Al Horford, you reinsert Marcus Smart to the lineup. It's going to take people a second just to kind of gel and figure it out. Meanwhile, Miami Heat came out kind of right where they left off in the first game. You saw Jimmy Butler was knocking down the threes, knocking down some shots early. But then what you saw is once the Celtics settled in, and when they go to their new roster, their favorite lineup is you're starting to see. Their starting lineup is obviously Robin Williams II is in their starting lineup. He plays center in that starting lineup. But when they rotate, go a little small, they move Al Horford to the big man. They bring in Grant Williams. Grant Williams has been shooting 3-ball for them at an exponential clip. That's the guy who had 7 threes in the last game to close out against the Milwaukee Bucks. Said it was the game of his life. Like, that roster right now, that's the one that's working for him. Everybody's knocking down the 3, whether it's Jaylen Brown at the top of the key, whether it's Marcus Smart at the top of the key, Jason Tatum, by Marcus Smart coming back. It allowed Jason Tatum to not have to be the facilitator. He can go back to the guy just scoring buckets, getting buckets, and that's what they did. But if you want to talk about who it was Marcus Smart. Defensive player of the year. He was knocking down shots. He had that energy. He had the Jimmy Butler energy. They're mirror individuals. They both play great, both sides of the basketball. They both can score points. They both play defense. They both get their team going. You saw Marcus Smart out there.
Same kind of hair,
They
too.
were, I know, right? Same kind of hair. Everybody's going, the black guys are going with the hair. A little bit like me. I'm trying to get up there.
You look good, buddy.
Marcus
appreciate
colors
that.
his, though.
I
He's got
appreciate
the green
that.
in his.
Nah, I ain't putting green in mine or blue, even though I went to Michigan. It's that for Celtics. It's that for the Boston Celtics. It's a bunch of bodies. They have so many bodies that you can throw at you. They frustrate you. Once you get frustrated, Jimmy Butler, and you don't have another guy that's putting up those points, where's Bam Adebayo? Bam Adebayo isn't scoring points at all. He's almost non-existent. He's a non-factor. Victor Oladipo, they're playing him more because Kyle Lowry's hurt. He played average. I'm telling you, the Celtics have just way too many bodies. They have Pritchard. Pritchard's a point guard that's coming off the bench, giving you minutes. Al Horford's giving you solid defense in there. Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, once again, comes in the game. He's lanky. He has size. He can play defense. And they're going to leave him open because they're so worried about Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Got the guy wide open. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to knock the 3 down every time.
You know, as I watched that game last night, too, and, they came out with
Series is over, by the way. It's over.
Boston's going to win.
Yeah, it's over.
Celtics Warriors. What have I told you?
100%.
So as I was watching that game last night, I was looking at the Celtics starting five, specifically who they put out there last night. You know, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and forget who
Williams, Robert
Williams. And I couldn't help but equate it to the Pistons. What the Pistons are trying to do now, is it not exactly the Celtics blueprint where your Cade Cunningham player could be your Jason Tatum? Because that was the comp coming in, right, for Cade Cunningham, was that he was the superstar in the NBA, right, or the star. I wouldn't even call Jason Tatum a superstar. I call him a star because I have a I think that Kevin Durant is a superstar. LeBron James is a superstar. Joel Embiid is a superstar.
Was it Friday that we talked, and we talked about, I think it was Friday that we talked. We had Jeff Ifredi on this past Friday, and we were talking about stars. You were here, and we were talking about him being a superstar, and that's when Jeff said, well, he's already right. He is a superstar. And what did I say, if you remember? I said, I can't give him superstar status because he hasn't had that breakout performance. It's like, well, this is his third Eastern Conference Finals, and you see what he does during the season. I get that. This is why I agree with you 100%, Ryan Ermanni. That makes you a star. That superstar moment is when you take it to the next level. It's when you have that dominant series in the Eastern Conference Finals that propels your team to the finals. It's when you get to the finals and you fight and go 7 games and lose, or you win. That's when you have that superstar moment. He's had a bunch of superstar, like small moments, but he hasn't turned into that superstar yet because he hasn't gotten past the Eastern Conference Finals or to the
He doesn't need to be a superstar on that team.
He's so close though. He doesn't, but he's so close.
I think what I'm trying to say, and forget about star versus superstar, the comp for Cade Cunningham coming in was a Jason Tatum type player. And if you look at the Celtics, you don't see Kevin Durant, you don't see Joel Embiid, you don't see Nikola Jokic, you don't see Steph Curry, you don't see any of these guys. You see a very, very good, bordering on great player in Jason Tatum, and then a bunch of pretty good players. I mean, is Jaylen Brown? Are you banging on Jaylen Brown's door?
Jaylen Brown's a star. Jaylen Brown's he's an all-star already. He's made the all-star game twice. He is a star in the making. He's a star next to Jason Tatum. I think you're undermining Jason Tatum a little bit.
You think that he is? Yeah, he is in the category of a Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Embiid.
He hasn't won the championship, but he's in that next caliber. Like I won't put Embiid as
You're starting.
Well, he's a superstar.
I got a question for you. You're starting a team. How many guys would you take over Jason Tatum? Think about that for a second. I want to get there next, but first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, our good friends Chris and Noni Hut. Chris invented the game. My two favorite games together: football and bowling. You got to try it out, guys. It is fun. If you haven't done it, there's a couple ways you could do it. $12, unlimited open play, or a private lane reservation, 10 or 12 of your friends on a lane, 2 hours, cost you $120. Very affordable, great fun, and you know what? It's a huge place. You can have a picnic in there. So bring your own food in, have it delivered. The bar is loaded up there for you. And don't forget, over 100 beers they offer, and the fun $2 mystery beer machine. Take your chance, get down there to the Foaling Warehouse. Get your foal on at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab your cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap. Crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
Today is and always will be. It's Planet Fitness time to talk about getting in shape in the summer. But you know what? Let's take a deviation from our regularly scheduled program. Let's talk about what they have to offer for the summer. Kids in high school, ages 14 to 19, you from May 31st to August 31st, actually May 16th through August 31st, you guys get to work out for free. That is right. The 80 locations in the metropolitan area in the state of Michigan, all you guys get to work out for free as a part of the High School Summer Pass initiative. New study finds while almost half, 48% of American teens admit they struggle with mental health for the first time ever during the pandemic, nearly all, 92%, agree regular physical activities helps them perform and feel mentally better. Planet Fitness, they are not only here for your fitness, they are here for your mental fitness as well. Let's get these kids down to Planet Fitness. I guarantee you, if the adults don't want to work out, I know the kids do. Right now, May 16th through August 31st, the Summer Pass Initiative, high school kids work out for free. Parents, get your kids down there. And actually, kids have cars too. Get down to Planet Fitness. You guys can work out for the free. Shout out to Planet Fitness.
Jason Tatum last night for the Celtics in a 25-point win scored 27 points. 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He is an absolute stud. And I couldn't help but watch the Celtics game last night and try to equate it to what the Pistons are trying to do, because I think the Celtics are the team in the NBA that the Pistons should look at and move towards what their path is. And they really don't even have a traditional point guard on their team. Jason Tatum handles the ball most of the time. Marcus Smart is off the ball. He carries it up. And it's basically a positionless team with a positionless NBA. And I think that's where they're succeeding. Cade Cunningham. And this, if you look at how the Celtics play, it almost takes me off of Jaden Ivey a little bit, because I don't think you need that guy in this scheme now.
And that's why I was so high on, like wanting Jabari Smith and wanting a Banchero, wanting a player like that can be that Jason Tatum type guy. I understand the comparisons, but those two players, talking about Jason Tatum and talking about Cade Cunningham, they're different players. Like Jason Tatum is a scoring stud. That is what his first is. His first thing to do in the NFL, the NBA, he's a scorer first. When he gets the ball, you saw the work that he did with Kobe. Everybody that works with Kobe, and that's why he should be a pick to win this NBA championship this year. Everybody that worked with Kobe in those periods before he passed, you look at Kyrie. Kyrie scored. Kyrie won the championship. What was the first thing Kyrie did? He called Kobe in the locker room, FaceTime him, said, "What you taught me worked." Same thing with Jason Tatum. You're watching Jason Tatum explode ever since Kobe passed away. Rest in peace to Mamba. But you see, he's an offensive wrecking ball. He's a wrecking machine. So that's why I love Jason Tatum. I think they're different. But I like where you're going with that, where it's a positionless NBA. You can do anything. You can have different sizes. You can go small, play small ball. That's how a lot of teams are having success. Just fit guys in windows and fit guys in space.
Our guy Pistons Talk on the YouTube chat says Pistons have a Marcus Smart in Killian Hayes. Is that what you hope Killian Hayes develops into? He doesn't need to right now, and he is getting better. Man, he is getting better. I'm not ready to write the eulogy for Killian Hayes yet. I'm just not.
I'm not either. I'm rooting for the guy, but when I saw last year, it was like he looks awkward shooting. He's not even close. But I wanted to ask you guys, talk about the Pistons, and then get a chance to talk to you guys the other day about it. They're picking number 5. Any chance do you guys feel that they trade up and get in that top 3? Do you think it's possible to get up in that top 3?
I don't think so.
In the NBA, I do think it's possible, because you never know what the team ahead of you is thinking. There's so much movement in the NBA. I'm not sure what they're thinking. You are going to have the ability to get a good player, though, at 5. Whereas before we thought there was Chet, Banchero, and Jabari.
And Ivy.
Well, now you got, you move it further. You got Murray, you got Ivy, and you got this Shaedon Sharpe, which is really the guy that could turn this whole entire draft on its head.
But can you take a chance on a guy like that when, well, I guess they didn't. It's not their fault that we took Darko back in the day. Do you take
Forget about.
Do you take the sure thing or do you take the crap shot?
What's a sure thing?
I don't know.
Define sure thing for me, because
Shaq.
I don't know anything about Shaden Sharp, and Pistons Talk on YouTube is saying that Shaden Sharp had a private workout today with the Pistons. I don't know anything about him, so it's so hard to talk about him. I don't even know what he looks like. He could be right in this room right now. I would not be able to pick him out of a lineup. So for me to come out here and say the Pistons have got to go get Shaden Sharp, I can't do that.
The draft is a week from next. The draft is a month from next week. You got plenty of time to make decisions. I think Keegan Murray. I think Jaden Sharp. I think those are some options there. But also, don't forget that you got Jeremy Grant as well. Jeremy Grant's a guy that a lot of people want. The Pistons waited. The Pistons didn't make a move with him before the trade deadline last year, so that they had him in their roster, wanting him to have some more success for the rest of the season, and then use him as a bargaining chip, a trading chip, try to make something happen. Not to mention the guys that are going to be on the trading blocks, guys that are going to be on the free agent blocks this offseason. You can make some really good moves, and I like Keegan Murray in that spot at 5. I mean, it's just so I like that for the team.
So Anthony Colombo, our Pistons Talk guy, says Keegan would be the safest pick at 5. For me, there's something about you don't win championships by being safe. To me, that's just not how it's done.
Don't forget, Sacramento's picking at 7.
Yeah.
At 4.
Yeah.
You might be able to get their pick. You might be able to trade them. Who's our guy?
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant. Because Anthony
take
was
4
here.
and 5.
You know what? Here's Anthony now.
Let's talk.
Get
Anthony in here, Maz. We're gonna talk to Anthony. This is great stuff here.
By the way, I got those names for you.
I do want to ask. I do want to ask you. Can I ask you real quick?
Come on,
would you take Tatum over KD?
Yeah. No. KD's at the top of my list.
Would you take Tatum over LeBron?
Now?
Yeah.
Don't count LeBron. LeBron's gonna play another year.
Well, I count LeBron, but
1 year you can't do that.
Tatum over Embiid.
No.
Jokic.
No.
Giannis.
No.
Luka.
No.
Steph.
No.
Ja.
Yes.
I kind of
size.
Yeah.
Size.
Yeah.
Size is a mofo. Like you see, like I get that.
I love Ja.
Maz. I get that. But look at what Tatum is doing on both ends of the court. Look at the size. Like you can't make up for 6'10" and to be able to have that ability to do what he does. The only other one that I had on there is I had Dame. I had that was another one I was trying to struggle with. Would I take Dame over Tatum? And then asterisk by Kyrie because the best ability is availability, and you never know what you're going to get without Kyrie. So I think I would take Tatum over Kyrie as well.
Let me bring in Anthony Colombo, Pistons Talk, our guy here, Woodward Pistons.
Don't beat me up too bad, Anthony.
Into the conversation here. First and foremost, Anthony, comment on. I believe the Boston Celtics are a perfect comp for the Detroit Pistons in the direction in which they should go. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I was listening to you guys in the back. Like you said, the comp of Cade Cunningham is Jason Tatum.
I said no, not at all. He said
I believe that's a comp for him of who he can strive to be.
I see a little bit of Tatum in Cade, but my comp for him coming out last year was Luka Doncic. I think he's very similar to Luka.
Wow.
I think
you think he can shoot like Luka?
I think he could, but you got to remember his usage rate was like 28%, which is really high for a rookie.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was getting double teamed as much as like guys like Steph Curry and LeBron. So I think once you bring in a secondary player, I think he can shoot better. As like saying like the Celtics, I look at the Memphis Grizzlies as a team that the Pistons should model after, because they play really good defensively. They have high level role players, and I think that's more realistic. Because you look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, to me, those are two superstars.
Thank you.
I don't know if the Pistons can, land a superstar without overpaying. But maybe, in the draft you can do that. But
so if you look at Boston, though, those are two guys in Tatum and Brown that they drafted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, you've got Cade. Where does Sadiq fit into this? You got a minute to stay with us? This is exciting for us. I'm excited to talk Pistons with you. Anthony Colombo, Pistons Talk. We're going to continue on with this. Stan Edwards talking NIL and Michigan situation coming up top of hour number 2. We'll be right back, but first a message.
From Les
Stanford. That's right. Hey, it's no secret. New cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. You got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford also has over 350 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on it. For more, LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Happy Friday! Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Have you downloaded my new favorite app yet? OddsTrader.com? If not, what you waiting for? With all the live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best feature, it lets you compare all the different odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. It's great. Get over there to the App Store today and download OddsTrader.com. And hey, for doing so, I'm going to give you a free play today. We know Scooble's been pitching great. Tigers can't hit. So you know we like the under 8.5 in this Indians game tonight. So let's go with the under 8.5 in the Indians. OddsTrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. With the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan, there is nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. That is 844-GO, the number 2, ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, the bottom line. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us here on Woodward Sports. We're talking Woodward Pistons now with our guy Anthony Colombo. Pistons talk. You definitely know the guy if you're a Pistons fan, for sure. Absolutely one of the best out there right now. We love our team, specifically from Woodward Pistons. Anthony, this is great because before the break, Braylon, you were talking about you like the Memphis Grizzlies as a model for the Pistons to follow. Can you just kind of elaborate on that for the group now?
I kind of think, like, when you think of Memphis Grizzlies, you think of, like, Zach Randolph, Mike Conley, like that grit and grind, kind of like a defensive team. And I think that's what the Pistons have always been. When they're winning championships, you go back to the Bad Boys. They were a gritty defensive team. You can go to during my generation, the go-in-the-work Pistons. They were known for their defense. I think with the Celtics, it's just, you have those stars in Tatum and Brown, and you didn't really have, like, a guy that really scored over 20 points during the 04 Pistons. And I think when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, it's very similar of how Troy Weaver and the Pistons could actually look at how they build and try to model their roster after theirs.
If you look at both those rosters, though, Braylon, and correct me if I'm wrong, both of those teams have been built through the draft.
Yeah.
That is, we all hear about the flash of, oh, well, Miami's got Jimmy Butler, how'd they get him? And the Nets have KD, and the Philadelphia Sixers have Harden, and, all these teams that have been built through free agency. Yeah. The two teams we're talking about right now are two teams that have been built through the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who the Celtics really added. Free agents, that's a major player for them. Obviously, obviously Horford, yeah.
But Horford's a guy, like,
true.
He's not like Joel Embiid.
He used to be.
I honestly think if they didn't have Al Horford, I don't think they wouldn't be as deep.
They wouldn't be the playoffs
exactly,
right now.
But Al Horford is
He's
really good
he's just a guy
in his role that he plays with the Celtics.
He's the glue guy.
He
for
is.
Them.
He's really good in the role he plays with the Celtics.
Yeah, and then Giannis pissed him off, which took him back to the 2014 Al Horford for the Atlanta Hawks. I guess he had a flashback. But no, you're right about that. You look at Memphis, outside of Dylan Brooks, everybody else is Joshua Jackson Jr. built through the draft. You look at Desmond Bane. You also look at John Morant, their guy. John Morant's averaging 27 a game. John Morant's going to be upwards of 30 next year. And then Jason Tatum's averaging 26. Jaylen Brown averages 22 points a game. So you got to find those guys that can do that. And that's why I say for Cade, if he wants to take that next step, and obviously you build through the draft, you see if a guy like DeAndre Ayton is going to be available to trade for. You see what Jeremy Grant can get you in this year's draft. But if Cade next year with the usage rate, adding pieces to the team, he's going to have to take that step. Because if you want to compare him to those teams, those franchises, each of those franchises has a guy that's averaging 25 or more a night. And so Cade's got to go from 17.7, which I understand didn't have a lot on his team this year, so that will go up. But he's got to be a guy that can average 25, 26, 27 and facilitate. Do you see Cade being a guy that can average 27?
I think he could if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think right now it's so hot for free agency news. Like I was reading this morning that they don't think Zach LaVine is a lock to come back to Chicago.
He doesn't like playing second fiddle.
And I think he'd be perfect next to Cade Cunningham. I would love those two in the backcourt.
I would love Zach LaVine. I love Zach LaVine.
Let me go back to one of the things that you said regarding Keegan Murray at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Safe pick.
Yeah.
I am like, I hate safe.
Yeah.
I don't think you win championships safe.
No.
I think Dallas is safe. And Dallas has zero chance, not even 0.5, to get past Golden State, in my opinion.
But
they might win a game or 2 games, but they're not going to beat Golden State in the series, and they're certainly not going to win an NBA championship.
But where's Dallas right now? With all that, that safe stuff, where's Dallas right now?
The Pistons went to 6 straight Eastern Conference championships. I don't want this version of the Pistons to be capped at an Eastern Conference final. So would you take a chance on this Shaedon Sharpe guy? Do you know anything about him? Because he is the guy that turns this draft on its head, as far as I'm concerned.
I think he's probably the highest risk. But if you hit on Shaedon Sharpe, you're looking at a guy that's very comparable to Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows who Bradley Beal is.
Yeah, one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Yeah, guy hit a
How did he look next? How would he look next to Cade Cunningham?
I mean, Bradley Beal is giving him his flowers, so you never know. That could be a possibility. But getting back to Shaedon Sharpe, guy had a 49-inch vertical. Michael Jordan had 48. Guy is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Troy Weaver loves athletes like that. You can go back to his OKC days, even back in Utah. He loves athletes like a Shaedon Sharpe, even a Jaden Ivey. So I think if either of those guys are there at 5, he's going to take the gamble on Shaedon Sharpe, because you look at his pro day, I think Graph Express posted it. Kid is a freak athlete. He can shoot the ball, he can score at all 3 levels. I would take the gamble on Shaedon Sharpe at 5 on the Pistons.
See, that's one thing about the NBA versus the NFL draft. Like, I've seen safe picks in the NFL draft. Like, I've seen teams pick a guy, and he was like, that was a safe pick. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't go for the gusto, or they didn't go for the guy that had the question marks. But in the NBA, I don't see it that way. I think the NBA, you'd only have 2 rounds won. The only round that matters is the first round, and the only part of that round that matters is the top 10. Most importantly, the top 5. So I think when you pick, you're going for the moon, because your fan base, your city, they understand what you're trying to do in the NBA draft. They understand what Troy Weaver's job is and what he has responsibility-wise. I think he's going to go there. If he's there, I think that's the move they'll go. I think they will go for Sharpe, because it's the NBA draft. You're trying to get better fast. I think that's the move they'll pull. I don't see a safe scenario in the NBA draft, especially for the Detroit Pistons.
Anthony Colombo in studio with us, Woodward Pistons. Is any chance Sharpe goes 4? Or even
3?
I mean, even above Banchero? Or I mean, you could talk yourself in the NFL draft. You could talk yourself and in and out of just about anything. Is it like that in the NBA draft?
Upside rules in the NBA.
Yeah, it does. Like, you hear the reports out of Houston. They might want to trade out of 3, but who knows what they want. The Kings, I can guarantee you, the Kings are probably trading out of that 4th pick.
Really?
The Kings are an organization that want to make the playoffs. And
do they want Jeremy Grant for that 4th pick?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe a slight upgrade over Harrison Barnes, but I mean, if the Kings draft Jaden Ivey after they traded Tyrese Halliburton, I will laugh. That whole trade, it's a joke.
Right.
The Kings are a joke organization. Like, honestly, like, if you want to make the playoffs, trade off of that 4th pick. Go get another star with Fox and Sabonis. Can Jeremy Grant maybe entice them? Who knows?
Can I ask you about Jeremy Grant?
For sure.
What's everybody's problem with Jeremy Grant? Like, he hasn't reached 30 yet. I mean, he's in his late 20s. I don't know, what is he, 27, 28 years old? He's a really good player. Is the only reason you would get rid of the guy because you think he might not be able to mesh with Cade Cunningham? Because talent for talent, you don't want to lose talent. You want to accumulate talent. He's one of the most talented guys on the roster. Why would you want to get rid of this guy for a bag of balls?
So the narrative going into the season with Jeremy Grant is there's only one basketball. Cade Sadiq and Jeremy can't play together. But when Jeremy was injured and he came back, I think fans like to forget those two were averaging 60 points in later half of the season. Like Cade was getting his 20, Sadiq was getting his 20, Jeremy was getting his 20. I think fans look at his price tag. They look at, he can sign an extension this year for over $112 million. And they're like, no, I don't want that.
That's a freaking bargain in today's NBA, by the way.
Honestly,
Not forget it doesn't start.
Yeah. I think Troy, when he said, I want 2 first-round picks for Jeremy, it's because he doesn't want to trade Jeremy.
Yeah.
But if a team's going to say, I'll give you 2 first-round picks for Jeremy, Troy will be like, pack your bags. You're going to Portland.
Right. Interesting. I wish Portland had 2 first-round picks. They don't
Nobody wants
anymore.
that 7th pick that they have.
Anthony, great stuff, man. Thanks so much. We certainly appreciate it. Hope to talk to you throughout the month and beyond, specifically as
Tonight.
we lead up to the NBA draft.
Luka, Game 2 tonight, Golden State. What do you think, real quick?
I think if they don't come out aggressive, Golden State will just take it.
Okay.
But I do have Golden State winning this series.
Does Luka have a much better game?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he's not going to go out for a beer again, like he was last.
He caught
last
a
time.
lot of flack for that one.
Yeah,
that's
for
like
sure.
That's like Jordan going to what was it? He went to Atlantic City during the Knicks series.
Yeah.
Went to Atlantic City, got in trouble. They were down 0-2, but yeah.
Think about that. The series intrigues me because Dallas is like a one-man wrecking crew. You stop Luka, you win the game easily.
It's fun.
Golden State, you don't know who's going to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Steph? Is it going to be Clay? Is it going to be Poole? Is it going to be Draymond?
Yeah, it's funny when it works. Like we saw, obviously, when Luka and them, when they advanced and they got to the Western Conference Final, you saw how they did it. You saw Luka balling in that game. You saw Jalen Brunson was there. You saw Reggie Bullock was there. Like when they were balling, you start seeing a bunch of bodies. But when they don't, it's all you see is Luka. You're 100% right about that because they looked like they had more talent on the team they did until they ran into the Golden State Warriors in Game 1. So.
The great Anthony Colombo. Any good last words for us? Parting words on a Friday here?
Just going to get some rest this week, man.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
There we go.
He's going to be crushing beers, eating pizza, watching basketball.
How'd you know?
Anthony Colombo, Woodward Pistons Talk. Follow him on Twitter. We certainly appreciate it. We're going to take a break, come right back. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. As you know, we broadcast this show live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's in Birmingham, Michigan. Definitely awesome to get off the air, get looking good by one of their talented stylists, a precision haircut. All you got to do is very simple. You walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee! Always available as well. 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Best ability
is availability. Come on inside. Walk in anytime. It's so wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
OddsTrader.com, the #1 site for all your game day bets. Begin your handicapping journey at OddsTrader.com. For play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking, download OddsTrader from the App Store today. For the best price on every game and sign-up offers from multiple sportsbooks, visit OddsTrader.com. Player statistics and key game stats are all available at OddsTrader.com. Use Bet Tracker and keep records of all of your games and betting activity at OddsTrader.com.
So I can't unhear Sam was out a couple of days last week or this week. Maybe it was earlier this week. I don't even know what day today is. Friday?
When he did the odds trade, it was Tuesday.
I cannot unhear Fish going, odds trader.
It was Tuesday.
Can't unhear that, but we love it. Good to hear Sam Reynolds back in the saddle over there. Sam Flannel looking good on a 90-degree day in a flannel shirt as well, young man.
Yeah, and the live broadcast from Chili Peppers was outside, so I'm feeling all the heat. But you know what? I'm committed. I'm committed to wearing a flannel for 365 consecutive work days. And this is a special Debo Friday flannel, so I can't not go without one today.
Can't. How are you gonna get fired on your day off?
Oh, man.
You gotta cut the sleeves though, brother. You could still wear a flannel. Just cut the sleeves.
Well, I need something for when it gets cold again. I can't just keep cycling in flannels season after season, but
Sure
I like
you
where
can.
your head's at.
All right, brother.
Braylon, how about a fun exercise right now, okay?
All right, sign me up.
We're going to talk to Stan, top of the hour. We're going to talk a little Lions as well. The numbers are out
the
on them.
Lions.
Nick Saban,
Nick
Jimbo,
Saban,
get back
Jimbo.
into that.
We've got a lot to get to in a short amount of time to get there. But the Big Ten, and there's so much talk about realignment and Power 5 conferences and what's working and what's not. The Big Ten Conference does not seem to be working. You've got the Big Ten East so top-heavy.
Yeah.
And then the Big Ten West is like this middle ground for nothing. I think they've won one Big Ten championship since
Was it Iowa?
2.
it was
Oh,
Wisconsin
whiskey.
under Russell Wilson.
You said the West?
yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Because Iowa's made it twice. Iowa hasn't won either time. Wisconsin made it a ton of times. They've won it once, and then Northwestern made it, and they didn't win it. So yeah.
So we are going to do a fun exercise. And first of all, Braylon, do you think the Big Ten needs to be realigned?
I think so. We've been talking about this since the beginning. We were talking about this since the inception. At least I remember talking about it. And with the inception, just looking at the sides, it just doesn't seem like a fair fight. You have Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, who pretty much dominated the division for the better part of the last 8 years. And then on the other side is Wisconsin. And then every blue moon, it's Iowa. You got to realign them more. I don't say you have to, but you just should.
Let's face it. The East, it's Ohio State and the rest. Okay? Ohio State is
I'm
the
not
beast.
sure that's the case anymore.
The
I think
Big
there's
Ten.
It's the case.
I think there's a chink in their armor.
No, it's the case.
Michigan is the Big Ten champion. I'm just saying what the facts are.
Yeah, but you got your 1 out of 20-something years,
but
man.
it's one. It's the last one.
Okay, fine.
It's the last one.
Okay. Every blind squirrel gets a nut.
It's the last
as well.
one.
Okay.
Just
But
saying.
we all did our thing, and Fletch put up. He's got the graphics. Who wants to lead off with their Big Ten? All right.
You and your big mouth.
Fletcher, put him up there. Put up the Tom Mazawey picks for the Big Ten. This is me. I got Michigan to go with Michigan State
Ours
always.
Ours are the exact same.
Are they really?
And I didn't look at yours to be honest. Ours are the exact same.
You got to split up Rutgers and Maryland to me because they stink. We get one, and the West gets one. We keep Penn State. We keep
Well, you
Purdue.
don't split them. You didn't split them up.
Yeah, I did.
Look at the logos.
Rutgers and Maryland should be split.
Well,
Oh, shucks.
oh, Maz.
You know what? I did split it. Fletch, Indiana is supposed to be on my side.
Okay.
Maryland is supposed to be in the West side.
Okay.
Okay? I put Ohio State in the West. But you got Penn State, Michigan, and Michigan State, the 3 big dogs in the East, against Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. I think that's a fair fight.
But throw Braylon's up then if it's kind of the similar to that. Fletch.
Throw mine up and throw to me. I'll give you my take. Oh, I guess. Well, get off Ryan. Show my face. It ain't his. It's mine. Thank you, Jesus Christ. So on mine, the reason why I did, you guys put up Michigan and Ohio State. They still need to play each other every year.
Of course.
But the best thing about it is if they play each other every year, if they're different divisions, that means it doesn't count. That means they can play each other again in the Big Ten championship game.
Right.
So that's why I split them up. Purdue and Indiana, keep them on the same side. I figure obviously you got to keep Michigan State in the same division, and then Penn State.
Of course.
That's the powerhouse. So you're basically putting Michigan, O State, then you're putting Penn State against Wisconsin, then you're putting Michigan State against Iowa. So that's 3 versus 3. And then you keep Purdue and Indiana over there because they're both same state. They're a rivalry. I think Purdue is comparable to Minnesota, so I think that's a good one. Then you get Maryland. You see what Rutgers and Shiano are building out there, so I like that too. I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. You put Illinois, Northwestern on that side, and then you keep the teams that fight for the same trophies. You keep Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. You keep them all in the same division. I think that's probably the best way to do it. It's just my opinion, which is what you had almost.
Yeah, I basically took Illinois and Northwestern, and I brought them over. And I took Indiana and Ohio State, and I swapped them. So Indiana, Ohio State traded out for Illinois and Northwestern. And the reason I did that is because perennially you've got Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State. And then don't sleep on Northwestern. I mean,
please.
They've won the West a couple of different years.
Yeah, when they won the West once.
Okay, fine. But then you go Ohio State, Iowa, Wisconsin.
You really jumbled them up.
With Purdue being that comparable Northwestern team.
I don't like this because you know what happens with this? Then we become Wisconsin. That's all you're going to hear from people. It's like, oh, it's just Michigan over there. And I'm not talking about for Michigan State people because obviously they're in division, but I'm talking about the national scene. They're going to look at the conference like we look at it with Wisconsin. Look at this conference, right? I mean, look at this division. Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern, Iowa, Penn State, Michigan State from time to time. All we do is replace Wisconsin if you do it like this. This is weak.
See, I don't think so because basically the only team I took out there is Ohio State. When you move Ohio State over, no matter what you do, you're going, unless you give me back Wisconsin or Iowa, it's going to look weak. I mean,
but the only reason I said, but Purdue is a different team. Purdue, if you take Northwestern and Illinois out, put Purdue and Indiana back over here, Purdue gives you a team that wins from time to time. They beat the big boys from time to time. They beat Iowa. Hell, who they beat last year? They beat Ohio State last year. You see what Brom is building over there.
Okay, that's fine.
Purdue, man, I'm saying like it gets looked at in a different light. I just see that Northwestern, Indiana, Illinois. It makes it look like what Wisconsin is looking at.
I don't think like Purdue's a world beater. I think they win a couple of games here and there, but I mean,
they're
I think
better
Northwestern,
than Illinois and Northwestern.
I think Illinois and Indiana are comparable, and I think Northwestern and Purdue are comparable.
Then maybe you take out Illinois, put Illinois back over there, and take Minnesota.
I didn't want to split up Illinois and Northwestern.
I didn't want to split. You just want to split Illinois.
I didn't want to split up Illinois and Northwestern.
Because
it's a natural
the same
rivalry, yeah. And I didn't want to split up Indiana and Purdue because it's a natural
I
rivalry.
did the same thing. I just reversed them. I had Purdue and Indiana on this side.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not bad. I like all three of ours better than what's there now.
Yeah.
All right? Remember the old leaders and legends division?
It's ridiculous.
Just rename the damn things. And
It's ridiculous.
But the downside is Michigan and Ohio State, if they do play each other at the end of the year, which is the way it's supposed to be, they could just turn around again, maybe, and play each other in the Big Ten championship.
But that can happen now.
Isn't that what happened with Georgia and Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah. That can happen.
Good point.
But that can happen now. You know what I'm saying? The way that the divisions are set up in the Big Ten now, that can happen now. So, I mean.
It can? No, because they're in the same division. Michigan and Ohio State are in the same division now. So if one
I
beats
was talking about other teams, though. That can happen with other teams.
Yeah, very rarely, though.
Very true. But
you want to walk me through some horse racing next?
Penn State, Wisconsin.
Till we get to the top of the hour?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, I do. I want you to walk me through the Preakness tomorrow. Derby champ Rich Strike skips. Epicenter, the early favorite. We'll get it going. I want to hear a horse racing update, Preakness style.
You got it.
In advance of Stan Edwards coming up top of the hour. Ermanni and Edwards.
But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning, who's celebrating their 20th anniversary today.
Wow.
Check
That's right.
that out.
Happy anniversary. And Big D Energy was out there celebrating with him a $20,000 giveaway. Can't wait to see who the winner was. So join the Pepper Club right now for all the best deals and on unlimited tanning. Someone is going to get a great deal on unlimited tanning. Get the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. They got the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, 26 locations, and more on the way. Check them out at chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Buddy, it's Maz for Big Boy, and the Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. They brought back some of the classic breakfast items. Don't forget the strawberry French toast, the hot cakes and waffles. If you're not feeling breakfast, try out the new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, the crispy chicken wrap. How about the nacho wrap? The strawberry salad as well. Perfect
Nacho
recipe
business.
for the spring.
Yeah.
And don't forget to grab a dessert, including our very delicious strawberry pie for $1.99 with any purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
We're going to be out at Big Boy next week, aren't we?
Wednesday.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Can't wait.
In Brighton, the Brighton
Looking
location.
forward to a Big Mac and looking forward to our Big Boy.
Big Mac.
I'm sorry. Looking forward to a Big Boy and a Slim Jim. And one of those Sundays as well.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait, man.
How about the strawberry shake?
I'm just excited Strawberry Fest is going on. I'm going to get one of those strawberry wraps. I'm going to get a Slim Jim. Strawberry wrap and a Slim Jim, man. I'm excited for that. And then a malt.
Can't wait.
I'll be getting there a little early before the show.
Maz, big day for you on Saturday.
Yes.
Because it's the Preakness Stakes. And I'll tell you,
The second jewel.
all luster has been worn off
Yes,
this for me.
it has. I understand that. It's the second jewel of the Triple Crown.
Man, he looks
It's the
pissed.
Preakness in Baltimore, Maryland. Rich Strike, the Kentucky Derby winner, at shocker at 81-1. They decide not to run him in the Preakness. Sad. It's the shortest race of the three. They didn't like only the 2 weeks in between the race. That's the way it goes. But the owner of Rich Strike did not want to run him right back. So you get the favorite. The horse that he nipped at the wire last week, Epicenter, is coming in as the early favorite. What is he, 5-2 or something like that? No, he's 6-5. 6-5. So he's a $4 horse, $4.60 horse maybe
Where's
by
Zandon?
tomorrow. So, sorry?
Where's Zandon?
Zandon? They didn't run. They didn't run him back. They did not run him back. I'm telling you the winner. I called it the minute Rich Strike was out, and I'm giving it to you. It's the filly. Her name is Secret Oath, trained by the great
Talk about him like people. I
by
love
the
it.
great D. Wayne Lucas at, 86 years old. Still training horses. They call him the coach. Great story. This horse won the female version of the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks. She is going to represent. She is gorgeous, by the way. You look at her. She's got her brown coat, and then she's got this like auburn hair and auburn tail. She is a great-looking filly, and she is muscular. She's as strong as any of them. And when you put a good filly in with this race, with these guys, she could win it. She's going to beat Epicenter.
It's so funny when you say Philly. I think it's something else. But let me ask you a question. You talk about the Preakness, and the Kentucky Derby is the experience, and that's something we should talk about one time. Like, what American sporting event is the ticket that you want? But that's something that we'll save for another time.
will.
When you talk about the Kentucky Derby, the hats, like the fanfare, you know what I'm saying? Like the outfits, like everything. It's a part of it. Like the Kentucky Derby is the event in horse racing. That's what you watch. You turn on early. Like when you're watching the Kentucky Derby, you turn on early because you're kind of watching like the Oscars or the Grammys. Who has on what? Who's hanging out with what? Who's repping this? Who's doing that? Take me through the Preakness, Maz. Like, how is the Preakness different? Does the Preakness do anything on that level? Or is it like
the Preakness is known as the biggest
Take me
party.
to the Preakness right now.
It's the biggest party of all the three Triple Crowns.
See, that's why I
The
asked.
infield. I want you to go online right now.
Okay, I'm going online.
Search Preakness.
Yep.
Look at the musical acts that they have coming to the Preakness. It is just a huge party. The Black-Eyed Susans, the women are still dressed great. Of course, they will be stripping down in the. It's like Mardi
my
Gras
type of party, baby.
in the infield, man. But the music and the party atmosphere at Pimlico.
Marshmallow, chain smokers,
Oh, man.
money
Keep
bag,
going.
yo, Frank Walker.
Moneybag Yo.
Moneybag Yo.
Wait a minute, that's my
What's her
guy.
name is there? Not
Marshmello?
Cardi B, but
I don't
Megan
know.
Thee Stallion's there.
Oh,
Megan
I
Thee
don't have, they
Stallion.
don't
Yeah.
have Megan Thee Stallion on here.
She's in trouble. She's dealing with some court.
Maybe
court
she had to
stuff.
back out or something. But she was supposed to be there.
Marshmallow.
She was.
But it's a party atmosphere.
Hey, can I ask you
That's
a dumb
exciting,
question?
right? I'm
Yeah.
listening. That's exciting.
So you want to turn it on early because they will show you everything.
Man.
Why doesn't the Philly Secret Oak?
Yeah, Secret Oath.
Secret Oath. Why doesn't the Philly run in the Kentucky
She
Derby?
was gonna. They decided to run her against the girls because of the big field. The 20 horses in the field, they didn't want to run her against that. She ran against, I think,
There was
14.
a lot of horses.
14 in the Oaks, maybe 12, and she came back. She came from almost last to first to win that one. She's going to be tough to beat in this race. I
Still
promise
disappointing about Rich Strike.
Oh, it kills me, man.
I love the quality of horse racing.
Yeah, a Philly can win it, man.
There we go.
The last Philly to win it, let's see, it was Rachel Alexandra, and then there was one other one.
I'm rooting
gotta think
for
of.
Secret Oath.
Secret Oath is going to win
for Secret Oath.
the Preakness. Book it right now, folks.
What about the different? Why does the Philly have such the opportunity against these males?
It's a short field, only 9 horses. Not going to be a lot of traffic. She can run her race, and I don't think there's a superstar horse in here that can beat her. She's as good as anyone in this field. She won't run into Belmont
Because it's a short track.
it's a shorter track. It's a shorter race. She could run.
So
with these
how long
guys.
is this track? Like take about a minute to get through?
It's a mile and a quarter. This is a mile and an eighth.
So what's it, like 2 minutes still?
It's still 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes, minute and 50 or so. It's still
There you go.
It's a great time. NBC does a great job with it. Mike Tirico, the host, Randy Moss, not the football player, and Jerry Bailey, the former jockey who was in the Hall of Fame.
Jerry Bailey.
They're great, man. It's great. I just love it. I just absolutely love the races. The Belmont, Rich Strike will be entered in the Belmont.
Well,
That's
Rich
3
Strike,
weeks
screw
away.
you, Rich Strike.
It's not his fault.
Well,
he wants to run. It's his owner.
Right. It's all very exciting. So I'm really happy about that, Mass. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
so much. Hey, do you guys see Stephanie McMahon as well, stepping away from the WWE?
I saw it. I
did
put that
see that.
story in
I
for you
did see
boys.
that.
What's the deal with that? I mean,
She said she wants a leave of absence to maybe be with her family. Here, you can read it.
yeah, so as of tomorrow, I'm taking a leave of absence from the majority of my responsibilities at WWE. WWE is a lifelong legacy for me, and I look forward to returning to the company that I love after taking some time to focus on my family. So obviously, it's a marriage thing and or kid thing.
No, what it is you saw what happened is, and no one knew about it, is Triple H was very sick. Triple H almost died earlier last year, degenerative bone disease or whatever it was that he had. He was suffering through that, struggling through that, and she was there holding the family down. She kept the hours at WWE. She kept the hours at SmackDown. She kept the hours at NXT, which is Triple H's baby. She was there facilitating, make sure things are going well. Shane McMahon stepped down from WWE as well earlier this year. So you mix that in. Triple H is sick. No one knows about it. She's holding the fort down for Triple H. Then her brother steps down. She's now holding the fort down for her brother as well as her father's, who's aging and moving further and further and further back. That's why you see so much going on Fox now. She's been doing an amazing amount of workload, man. She's tired. She's exhausted. Her husband almost died. That weighs heavily on you. Having to protect your children from that, and then also burying yourself in work, and your brother not being there, who's literally run SmackDown for the past 12 years. So I think she's just at that point where she needs some time off. She's human. Yeah, she's been through a lot. She needs some time off, rethink, just relax a little bit.
Yeah, and we certainly wish her and the family the best. I mean, the WWE is such a big part of so many of our lives
100%.
Over the course of the last 30, 40 years specifically. So we hope the family legacy continues on, and maybe you'll see a lot more of Vinnie Mac.
I am set. Oh, yeah, 100%, man. I mean,
No chance.
I love
That's
Vince.
what you've got.
Got the walk when he walks out.
No chance in hell.
That was amazing. When he would come out with the boss walk, with the arms just flailing, that's the stuff. I got some bad news, man. I'm nervous about Big E's a good friend of mine. He toured, he was a champ. Big E, he broke his neck in March, and it's going to be a lot longer recovery than they initially thought and they initially said and proposed. So keep your prayers up, man, for Big E out there in WWE Network. He's a friend of the show and just an all-around really good guy. He's also a Big Ten guy. He went to Iowa, so he's a Hawkeye. So keep your prayers for him, man. He's a good guy. He deserves to get back.
Max, you're not a WWE guy.
I don't like wrestling. No, I'm not. I'm not a fan. But I put it in for you guys. You guys love it. I'm happy for you. D-Mac's a big wrestling guy.
D-Mac's a wrestler.
I love my guy. Got to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Tigers are playing tonight in Cleveland. See if they can snap the streak and get going again. They lost the last two after winning the four previous.
The Guardians.
At the Guardians.
Really tough team, that Tigers
That's a
team.
house of horrors, by the way, for the Tigers.
But not for Miguel Cabrera. He always hits well there, I think.
Progressive Field.
Yeah,
maybe.
The Jake.
I used to hit, man. I took BP there a couple of times, man.
Oh, really?
All the time, man. They used to let me, Travis Hoffner, a.k.a. Pronk. She love me. He's my boy, man.
Hey, how about Max Scherzer, man? If the Mets can't get
6 to 8
they get nothing but bad news. They really don't.
They'll be able to. That could have been a lot worse. I think
they're out with DeGrom is out too. Both guys will come back before July.
That could have been good news for Max Scherzer. I mean, that he's not season-ending or anything like that. Take the next 2 months off, build your strength up, and come back better than ever. Because the METS, Mets, they're going to be around at the end of the year this year.
So, man.
Guys, Nick Saban apologizes to Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher does not accept that apology. Lots to get to. Stan Edwards going to join us as well. Hour number 2 of the program right around the corner. But first, a message from Cintron.
That is right. The summer of Cintron is here. And summer pretty much almost is there. It's 80 degrees today. It feels good. But now, Cintron has something else that they are offering. It's called the Mulligan.
The Mulligan?
The Mulligan. Actually, you know what? No. Wrong graphic. Cintron, this is Gypsy. Gypsy Vodka introduces now the Mulligan. Not only do they have Moscow Mile in the can, they have the Mulligan. That is right. 8% alcohol, smooth, and also 3 flavors. As you're seeing, they have iced tea, lemonade, and then just vodka and lemonade. Oh, man, it's going to be good. Going to be a great summer. Going to be a fun time. Let's get it going. Support Michigan Distillers. That's right. Gypsy Vodka is Michigan-owns Gypsy Vodka brand. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys, support them. The Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. Go down to liquor stores now. Ask for it by name, but remember, if you're going to drink this summer, no matter where you do it, just do it safe and responsible.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Now the summertime of Cintron is here. Right now at select Kroger's, Cintron is 2 for $4 on the energy drinks. That's right, classic sugar-free as well as cranberry. You see the commercials, you know I love it. Drink it. They want to be here for the memories. They're also partners with the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Tigers, and the Detroit Red Wings. So did LCA, as well as here now in Kroger. Check them out. Go get 2 for $4 in the summertime. Get your energy up in the morning or afternoons. Check it out. Cintron. Live it. Drink it with Cintron.
Oh, yeah. Hour number 2 of the program. Friday, May 20th, Ermanni and Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Guys, story of the day yesterday actually made national news headlines. Forget about the sports world. It elevated itself all the way up to news was Nick Saban and him calling out Texas A&M, calling out Deion Sanders as well.
He embarrassed himself.
He did.
Yes, he did.
And I will tell you, I got to tell you, I did not expect Nick Saban at 70-some years old to apologize.
Yeah.
Because usually, and I don't want to say usually, maybe this isn't a fair characterization. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm totally full of hot air. But I feel like once you get to a certain age, you don't care what anybody thinks anyway. So you just kind of say whatever you got to say.
I think they told them to do it.
Even when you're wrong, you don't even apologize because like you're just digging in at that point.
You don't think they forced them to do it? Of course they did.
It's true. Once you get to a certain age, you no longer care. You say whatever comes to your mouth, and you don't back off from it. You've put yourself in a position. You've lived long. You've been through enough BS where you know what, I just don't care anymore. But not when you're still an individual that is head of the SEC, that is head of NCAA football, that is a guy that Alabama wants to represent their program in a shining light. Like he is the guy, he is the GOAT, he is the czar and all these things. But he's still a guy that, as of right now, is representing college football. He's representing Alabama. And yesterday, he did not do a good job of representing Alabama, nor the SEC, nor himself.
Let me just set it up for you before we get Stan on the air. He went on ESPN Radio yesterday, ESPNU Radio, Channel 84, Sirius XM. Just a couple of quotes. I should have never singled anyone out, and for that, I apologize. I've reached out to Jimbo. I've reached out to Dion. Never got a response.
As you shouldn't. He doesn't
I feel
deserve
bad
a
about it.
response.
I'm not changing my philosophy. I look at the betterment of college football. He is apologizing for singling them out. And what he said was, and I listened to this whole thing, what he said was, they're not doing anything illegal. He's like, I never said they're doing anything illegal or anything that's wrong. But in the guise of this rule that we are having in NIL, he's got a big problem with where NIL is. Now, I like the message. I hate the messenger because he's been doing this forever.
I don't like the message either because it's some BS. Like he basically said he shouldn't have called or singled anybody out, but you did. You went after Jimbo Fisher. You made it personal. You made it personal because he beat your ass last year. And also Kirby Smart beat your ass too. And also NIL is catching everybody up to you. You thought you were the GOAT. You were going to, you are the GOAT, but you thought you were the czar. You thought you had a couple more years before it ran out, before it caught up. And it caught up with you fast. Like, I don't like the message either because you're essentially saying, like, these guys are buying championships. What the hell have they been doing in Alabama and the SEC? I told you the story about Marquise Hill and LSU. This is when Saban was at LSU. This same thing. You talk about, oh, these guys are doing this or doing that. How the hell do you get some of these great five-star recruits to come to Tuscaloosa? Tuscaloosa is a boring-ass city in the middle of nowhere. How are they not going to USC? And this is years coming. How aren't they going to Texas?
Speaking of USC, there's a wide receiver going to USC for $3.5 million.
Jordan Addison, Biletnikoff winner. Welcome to the club, my brother.
$3.5 million.
3.5 NIL. So you're singling out this individual. Meanwhile, you got Bryce Young to come from California to Tuscaloosa. Like, nothing goes on. Just like in Ann Arbor. Nothing goes on in Tuscaloosa, whether it's a donor, whether it's a player, whether it's a student, whether it's somebody on the training staff, without Nick Saban knowing about it. So that's why I just didn't like him Saban, and that's why I said yesterday, I said, mind your business. Like, don't call anybody out when you're still doing things. And it was just dumb, especially for him. Like, people make mistakes. Trust me, I'm a guy that makes them all the time. But this guy is here. He's 70. You can't make those mistakes at 70 years old when you are the GOAT.
He screwed his own guys. These were guys that worked for him. How do you call those guys out when they know where the bodies are buried?
Right.
That's the bad
That's
news.
That's why you're getting the apology.
Yeah.
And not only because somebody made him. Kirby Smart, and he hasn't said anything because he's national champ. Once Jimbo Fisher said that, he said, "You guys want to crown him the czar of college football?" He said, "Don't dig in." He said, "Why don't you go dig into his past?" Once you start hearing things like that, it backs you off a point. I guarantee you, he heard that. So you know what? Let me apologize.
Neither Jimbo nor Dion responded to Saban. Jimbo said, "You know what? I'm done. It's over.
I'm done with him.
I'm done." Let's bring him in right now as well. By the way, I didn't take the call. We're done. He's the greatest ever. When you have all the advantages, it's easy. That is a born on third base kind of guy. Right
but
there.
he's better than that.
Yes. Or maybe he's not.
No, he is.
Let's bring him in. Stan Edwards.
Stan's better than that.
Well, we know that for sure. Stan, happy birthday,
Happy
sir.
birthday, Stan.
Yes.
Hey, thank you very much. Speaking of happy birthday, I'm 63. I want to get to 93 like Bob Cousy and give some smoke to a young J.J. Redick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I saw that.
We're not plumbers.
I saw that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm shooting for. Trying to get to a 93 like Bob Cousy.
That's amazing. Now, you've been watching J.J. Redick and Mad Dog Russo have been going at it now for about the past 3 weeks to a month, and he made that comment. And I was wondering when one of the older players were going to, like, step up, and Bob Cousy said, I'm 93, I'm not dead.
Hey, Stan, react to all this Nick Saban stuff. First and foremost, let's just pick it apart from what he said about Texas A&M buying all their players, and then the Deion Sanders giving the kid $1 million to come to Jackson State and decommit from Florida State. What do you make of what happened the other night, first and foremost?
See, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I went to the University of Michigan. Because Jim Harbaugh, the no Michigan coach, would have gotten it in. I understand where Jimbo was coming. I'm talking from a Jimbo Fisher perspective, and even respond to that. I'll come to Nick Saban in just a second. So Jim Harbaugh wouldn't have even, he made a comment, but he wouldn't have had a press conference talking about one person specifically. He'll make a comment here and there, but he'll let it go. Because what Jimbo did was add fuel to the fire that foolishness goes on in college football. Jimbo, I get he was protecting himself, his brand, Texas A&M's brand, and Texas A&M Nation. I get all of that. But the fact that he had a press conference and spent the amount of time that he did addressing what Nick Saban said, I thought was really beneath him, and he shouldn't have did that. No Michigan coach would have done that.
Hey, Stan, can I stop you for a second there just to react to the Jimbo? If you listen to the Jimbo Fisher, he's mad about it, but he didn't deny a thing about it.
Yeah.
No, he did not. That's what I said, because that's the SEC Nation. He didn't deny anything about it, and probably because I don't know him, probably will never know him, and probably because there is smoke to fire on how they recruit and how they do things throughout the entire SEC. He probably felt a little bit, I shouldn't say too much. I just should say enough to try to keep my name clean. So, no, you're right about that. He did not deny anything. He spent all his time talking about Nick Saban. Nick Saban. Maz, I disagree with you. Those are only his guys when they're here and Nick is here. That's the only time they're his guys. Nick Saban doesn't. He is the narcissist. This guy doesn't trust anybody being on his level.
Except Belichick.
He has got to be the smartest guy in the room. He's a very successful football coach, but that's not enough for him. What's enough for him is to make sure that he's in control and he is viewed as being the best and the brightest at everything he does. And he doesn't have to do any of that. But to no end, he is so insecure about himself, he don't want anybody to feel like they're getting the best of him.
Dad, you talk about, you look what happened at the press conference yesterday, and Jimbo Fisher, and obviously he was opening up his mouth a little bit too much, because if you keep going, starting to tell you that you knew what was going on when you were coaching under him. You knew what was going on there. You actually have evidence, and people started asking questions. So, you don't want to talk too much, but he did. But with that being said, Nick Saban apologized today. Nick Saban came up off his point. Do you think Nick Saban apologized because the institution that is Alabama said, hey, that's not a good look for the program, it's not a good look for us, needs you to apologize? Or did he apologize because it started getting a little too real when Jimbo Fisher tells you, hey, why don't you dig into that guy's past? Is that why he apologized?
The former, he doesn't care. He apologized because of the people he has to answer to. He doesn't want them to look bad. He wants to make sure that compliance, the athletic director, and the president of University of Alabama don't have to answer questions while they got a renegade coach out here just bad-mouthing people and going beyond and ignoring the personal conduct policy of the University of Alabama and the SEC conference. That's the only reason why he apologized. He didn't feel bad about anything or anybody, because that's just not who he is. He doesn't care about anybody else. And he would be the same way if he worked in the mailroom. He just happened to be one of the best guys to coach college football.
Hey, Stan, can we keep you through the next break?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
30 seconds from now, I know Maz wants to hit you up, and I want to gear the conversation a little bit towards the University of Michigan. And can they compete? Do you even want them to be able to compete in this college football landscape? We'll talk about that next. But first, the message From Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. Whether you're at home or on the road, Guardian Alarm has 24/7 local monitoring that makes sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. 1-800-STAY-OUT right now. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. More with Stan next. This is Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Network.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Right back here with Stan Edwards, Woodward Sports Network. Stan, let me just jump right in overall. And I know we've talked to you about this in the past, but just big picture, NIL seems like it's the wild, wild west. What is your big picture perspective on what is happening right now? We just had a guy transfer, wide receiver, Biletnikoff winner.
Jordan Addison.
Transferred for $3.5 million to USC. What do you think of all this?
Damn, $3.5 million.
Tell Jordan, here's what it looks like, Jordan, right here. Jordan's joining this club right here. Just so you know. All right. So let me do this. Let me do it this way. The top 5 NIL deals that's been recorded is the number 5 is C.J. Stroud, $1.1 million at Ohio State. The number 4, high schooler, Arch Manning, $1.6 million. Number 3, Bryce Young, Alabama, $1.8 million. Number 2 is a basketball player, high schooler, Mickey Williams, $2.6 million. Right now, the highest reported NIL deal probably got it from his dad. Probably got it from his dad. Bronny James, $5.1 million. So in 2023, there's a no-name athlete supposedly has an $8 million deal on the table, $320K up front, $2 million a year for every year. So that begs the question: if he transfer, is this guaranteed? And there's and trust me, Ryan, I'm coming to your point. There's so many entities that are involved in this. You have the player and his family. You have the coaches. You have compliance. You have the NIL entity that's providing the revenue and or the business service. So how are all these intertwined together? I don't even think they all talk. And I don't think you can even hold any of them accountable because there's so many different angles to this. It's going to be hard to manage right now. They're going to do something, but whatever the NCAA and the law allows, I think it might be a good 3 to 5 years before anything is done because it's so far out of the gate and there's so many different tentacles applied to this. You know, who do you manage first? Because if you go back and cut everything out, that goes back to, well, you know, the reason why this became a big deal is because some of what the universities were earning and making in coaches off of these players. So they can't go back to zero. Where are they going to go to? How they're going to manage it? And so I think it's going to be a good 5 years before they even figure that piece out. So if you look at the teams that are really going to do well, it's going to be the teams that are going to be able to manage the NIL better than anybody else. What I'm shocked, who has not done the best job of anybody, is the University of Oregon. Mm-hmm. Somebody must have pissed off Phil Knight, and I'm not so sure why Oregon has not had some of the better deals out there. Because in the early 2012, 13, 14, everybody wanted to see Oregon and see what they had new, what Phil Knight was providing for them. Maybe they're on the come up on the NIL deal. But I think the schools that don't figure it out, University of Michigan being one of them, they could be on the outside looking in. The good news about Michigan, the 2021 season and getting in the playoffs, they'll be able to ride that for another 3 years, maybe even 4. So I think they'll still be relevant with recruits for another 3 years, because that's just how good Michigan is. But if these other schools don't step up, it's going to continually be the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Now, I wanted that too about Oregon. The only thing I can think about is somehow something happened where they were pissed off about Cristobal. Where Phil Knight was pissed off about Cristobal leaving Oregon, them still having to pay Oregon, or they're still having to pay Cristobal as he left and walked out the door because they $400 million is what they make yearly in terms of their athletic department. Second place is Ohio State at $223,000. But going back to the NIL deals, right now, the NCAA isn't enforcing anything, and that's what all the coaches are saying. The Jimbos, not Jimbos, but the Nick Sabans, the Lane Kiffins, the ones complaining. And Tom Izzo actually came out and said something. They're not enforcing the rules that were necessarily put in place for the NIL deals. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Dad. Like you should, and we talked about this before today earlier. You should get paid for a service. Like name, image, and likeness, as it was explained to me, was, hey, if I'm, the MDN, I want to bring you in. Your name is Blake Corn. We want you to come in, do an autograph session. We're going to pay you $7,500. You come, you sign the autographs. We give you $7,500. Your name, your image, and your likeness was paid for. You did a service. You walked out the door. You're talking about $325,000 up front to do what? Mm-hmm. No services are being done. $8 million. There's no services. That's called paying players, and I'm not mad at that. But I'm saying that's no longer amateurism.
No, it's not. It's pro ball.
That's pro ball.
Yeah.
Like I'm confused,
The
man.
thing about it, Braylon, to your point, who's going to manage the contract? What service is being rendered? And here's the thing about it: based on the current landscape of the NIL, nobody's going to jail.
No.
So therefore, people are going to do what they want to do. And the people who really want to win are going to get in the game and stay in the game big time.
Okay, Stan, I've asked you this a million times, and you're always telling me it ain't going to happen. Is Michigan going to get in this game, or they're not going to get in this game?
They will get in the game. They're in the game, but they won't get in the game in the level like everyone else. I do not see University of Michigan offering a high school player 7 figures coming out of college. It's going to be a different kind of player. I don't see Michigan offering a current player, $1 million. Aiden Hutchinson, if my notes are correct, only made $557,000 last year. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist, the number 2 player overall.
Yeah.
So I don't see them getting in the game. See, that kind of money right now is not going to get the top players in the country. It's just not.
Okay, so how are they going to compete with Ohio State then? Because they're going to.
They don't have to. They don't have to because they're Michigan.
Oh, come on.
That's what they think.
I know,
that's
but
what
come
they
on.
think. They don't think they have to because they're Michigan, and they won't get in the game that way.
So you want a kid to come here for free or for less money than he could go to Wisconsin for?
Well, Wisconsin. Ironically, you said that Wisconsin. That's a bad example. Wisconsin and Michigan are eerily alike in a lot of different ways.
1,000%.
Really alike. But Mass, to your point. Ohio State. If Michigan is in on the kid in between Ohio State and Michigan, and it comes to the NIL, Michigan's going to lose every time.
Hey, Stan, does Michigan State get in this game?
Hell yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're in it now.
I think Michigan State are trying to figure out how they want to get in the game. Because here's what Michigan State trying to balance. Michigan State really wants to still maintain their anonymity as a good academic school and doing things the right way. But Michigan State they have to fight University of Michigan for some of the better players. That's just natural turf anyway, NIL aside. But with that being said, I think that Mel Tucker is going to say, hey, these new hotshot billionaires, if it's not Ishbia, if it's not Tom Gores, if it's not Dan Gilbert and more, hey, these guys are going to step up. I don't think they want to play at the level Ohio State's playing, but I think they want to play at a level much better than Michigan's going to play.
Stan Edwards, talking to Stan Edwards now. How long before a lot of these coaches get sick of it. Get sick of dealing with non-football things. Now, you almost got to recruit a kid more when you have them than when you don't have them. How long before some of the coaches are just like, you know what, I'm tired of getting knocks on my door, hey, where's my money kind of thing? Where's my deal? Do you think we get there?
So, about 3 hours ago, I had a phone conversation with one wide receiver coach at the University of Michigan named Eric Campbell. And he was telling me, he said, can you imagine if I had the career Braylon had, that I had to coach him and he was making more money than me? You imagine how that went? I said, so he would have been the same guy because I was here. And we weren't going to have that. Because what one of the things that coaches worry about is a kid still hungry and have the desire to be the best player he wants to play. This NIL money is not generational wealth, which you can get in the NFL. But it is money to have you say, whoa, wait a minute. This is, Coach, did you just yell at me?
Yeah.
Hold on. And so with that being said, I think coaches are fed up with it right now. But, Ryan, you know what? They can't do a damn thing about it because they can't do anything else. They're handcuffed. They have to deal with it or quit. And they're not going to quit because 99% of the coaches can't do anything but sell insurance, and selling insurance you can do online now.
Hey, Dad, quick question. How long before some of these former players try to put together a lawsuit and get NIL money? I mean, it'd be difficult, it'd be hard, but there's always a way. How long before that happens?
That's interesting.
Because
that's really interesting because I don't know if there's any laws on the book that prevent them from going after retroactively from what the university did to them. I mean, it's just like, statute of limitation. There's probably not anything on the books about statute of limitation about paying college players because it's just like an assault. It's just like some of the other than murder, which there's no statute of limitation for, there is a time on it. So since like that, it's interesting you said that. If they're smart, they better move fast. I'm 90% sure there's money on the table for former players. They got to get the right counsel. They got to get the right group. They got to get the right publicity and promotion, and they can get people to listen.
Sounds like a phone. Hey, sounds like a phone call we'll be having after I get off the show today.
Hey, you know who else will make that call? I'm pretty sure Ray Jackson and Jimmy King.
Oh man,
they probably can use a couple of dollars.
Jeez.
I know Jalen don't need it. I know Chris don't need it. Jawan don't need it. Shoelace.
It's
Mike
Hart,
Devin Gardner.
But it's not about needing it or not needing it. It's
Deserving
what's
it.
right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, did you earn it or did you not? Did the
But here's
university?
the challenge. The challenge becomes here in that case is the money's not coming directly from the school.
Yes.
It's coming from an outside entity.
Exactly.
So who do you actually sue?
This is where it insulates the school.
Nike.
This is where
Somebody much smarter than me can figure that out.
This is where it insulates the school a little bit, no doubt.
This has got to be what hell looks like, if you ask me.
Birthday plan.
College football, man. It's not college football anymore.
Hey.
It's just not.
Hey, Stan, how does Stan Edwards celebrate his 63rd birthday? Paint us a picture.
Well, actually, I was going out there to play a little golf, but the rain's kind of in there now, so I'll just stay home right now and just kind of count my blessings, and I'm looking for 30 more.
Now, do you get a cake or a cupcake or anything like that? What?
If it's up to me to get a cake or a cupcake, then I have a sad birthday. You got to ask all these people around me what I'm getting because I have no idea.
You're the best, buddy. We love you.
Happy birthday,
sir.
We love you, man.
Thanks. The great Stan Edwards, everybody. You can hear him sporadically throughout the year and throughout the months and weeks.
Tuesdays with Stan. Coming back soon.
Can't wait. Hopefully we can do that again coming up real soon throughout the summer and perhaps definitely for football season. So,
How long before and I'm going to bring it up to you. I'm just going to take control right now.
Please. It's Friday.
How long before the Power Fives just say, see ya, we got our own league. We're going to do our own league.
Not long. Who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? And Braylon, you brought up something that intrigues me as well. At what point do you stop being an amateur and start being a professional?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Yeah.
Do it next. First, a message from and I want to get to some Lions talk as well.
Let's do it.
First, a message from Wing Snob. Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob has the best traditional wings. Try out those signature sauces, Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. Wings toss perfection in any sauce you pick. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online. Look for a location near you. Wingsnob.com. Wingsnob.com. We just have
better wings.
Better wings.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Sports Network, glad to have you along on a Friday afternoon. It's so great to hear Stan's perspective in all of this as well, Braylon, because he's seen this progression over the course of decades.
Yeah, I mean, you figure he got to Michigan in '77, and here we are in 2022. So yeah, it's the better part of 45 years.
I still always think back and say, what could have been had he stayed in East Lansing?
Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Resentment, because I mean one of the biggest reasons he's left, and my dad said it, and I mean people that know, they know that his biggest thing was Michigan State would never be Michigan. Michigan State would always play number 2 to Michigan, so that's why he got out of there. So if he stays knowing that, then I think you start to get resentment out of him, and there's only a matter of time before he says something. Go figure. He says something about a coach at Ann Arbor, which could have been Lloyd or could have been whoever the next man up was. And then it's just something ugly. I think that's all that would have happened if he would have stayed in East Lansing. They would have been comparative. I mean, they would have been competitive. I think they would even beat Michigan a time or two. But I think it was only a matter of time before he said something because of the resentment, because of Michigan being number 1, and because of Michigan State.
What I'm saying is, when he left and went to LSU, they win the championship, right? Why couldn't he have done that here at Michigan State?
Because you can pay players in the SEC.
Yeah, but you could pay players here too. Ohio State's done it.
But it's a different thing when an institution is already doing such thing. Like Jim Tressel didn't get to Ohio State and all of a sudden had to figure out how to how to pay players or how to get players.
The infrastructure was already there.
Thank you, Ryan. Infrastructure was already there. So at Michigan State, they're not doing that. Michigan, they're not doing that. So you don't know how to go about having that conversation. Like, we can't beat them. Can we start paying players? Like, you don't want to be the guy that has that conversation. Meanwhile, you walk through the doors of LSU and they're like, "What do you need?"
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a different thing. And you go down there and you start seeing all these 5-star studs. I could just name you that LSU team. They were just ridiculously. Corey Webster, you played for your G-Man. Corey Webster was on that team. Marcus Spears was on that team. Marquise Hill was on that team. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So I think it was already in place. So you're walking to a place that's already in place. They're doing what they're doing. You heard what Saban said. He says, I'm not in those rooms. I'm not having those conversations. I don't know that material, that information. That basically is letting you know, look, that stuff was already going on. They already have the way in which they do it, putting money in players' hands, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's why he didn't have the success, and that's why it's hard, because the infrastructure is not in place in Michigan State.
And like Ryan said, he could pass a lie detector test.
Yeah, because he doesn't know anything. Braylon, talk to me about this idea of amateurism versus being a pro. What's the line?
So the big thing I was saying, and this is why I said when I came up with the concept of what I thought, NIL would be, or what paying players would look like, I thought, and I go again, I say this, I thought that, whatever deals were on the table, whoever wanted to pay certain player a little bit of this or put money in his pocket or do whatever for this deal, et cetera, I thought all of it goes into a kitty. I thought all of it goes into an account that you put the money into the account, and you can't touch the account until you're done with college. See, that way you keep kids hungry. That way you keep kids, because you can only work so hard when you're 19 years old and driving a Z71 Corvette. You can only work so hard when you're 18 and your house is bigger than
you never
Jim
think
Harbaugh's.
It's going to go away.
Like, you can only work so hard. So I thought that it would be that. And when you're paying kids with no services rendered, just the service that is football, the service that is playing. That's pro ball. Like, that's pro ball. Like, that's not what I thought it would be. And I don't mind. I'm not this hater. I'm not coming out here like Nick Saban. I don't want people to see that. But what I'm saying is, it's pro ball now. Like, there's pro NCAA, and then there's pro ball now. I mean, professional in the NFL, because they're paying guys for the service of playing football. That's called NFL.
USC, they're not college anymore. You're paying this kid $3.5 million to leave Pitt?
Picked him up in a Rolls Royce and said, "Follow me, let's go.
This is yours.
This is yours."
Now, how do let's forget USC, because there's so many millionaires on that team. Let's just go to a team, I don't know, pick a team.
Eastern Michigan.
And one guy is making...
That's a perfect example, because if Eastern pays somebody, it would be one guy.
Okay, he's making $2 million. What's the rest of his team looking at him like?
I was just
are they going to like him?
No.
Or no? I mean, it's dangerous, man.
No. Resentment is a real thing. Like, no matter how cool you say you are, like, no, that's my boy getting paid, and obviously he's making this money, so yeah, he can take you guys out to lunch. He can take you guys out to the club. Hell, he can take you guys out of town, and you go hang out. But that's only going to satisfy it for so long, and then you're going to get mad again. Then you're going to get resentful again. Then you're going to say, "Where's my money at, man? This is messed up." Now,
or he's not giving you any money, not buying you,
or that play, or he's going to get sick of giving you money.
And here's what happens: you seen Any Given Sunday. What happened when Jamie Foxx started bumping off at the gums and running his mouth? The offensive line did what? They stopped blocking.
Yeah.
The running back stopped taking the handoff. They start going different places. Everybody starts to go away from you. It'd be an ugly situation.
Such a mess.
It's only a matter of time before you start seeing guys fighting and teams breaking up, and like
it's going to happen, man.
It's going to be it's already a you know what show. It's a SHIT show, and Tom Mazawey has talked about it. And he just talked about having these young kids. It's hard to motivate them, and it's only a matter of time before the coaches, like you said, coach tells a player, says set player, "Hey man, you didn't give us all your energy on that play. Go run a lap or go do something," and that player's telling him, "Go F yourself."
Yeah.
Say, "Go F yourself. This is my team." It's only a matter of time.
Guys, we're going to talk some Lions next. They are favored in, count 'em, 3 of the 17 games next year. We'll have those numbers for you. Which teams are they favored against? We'll let you know what that is as well. But first, a message from MyBookie.
My place to put my bets, mybookie.ag, and the promo code is Woodward for you first-time gamblers. Get on it. It's free money. It doesn't cost you anything. You put 100 in, they'll give you 100. You put 1,000 in, they'll double it right up to $1,000. How about that? You'll have $2,000 in your account. And tonight, you can get right on it. NHL, it's Carolina and the Rangers from Carolina. How about those Caniacs? They're going to beat the Rangers again? I think so. And how about the under in that game? The other game, of course, you might want to bet the over. Calgary and Edmonton. In the one basketball game tonight, you got Steph Curry and the Warriors going against the Mavs. Only a 6.5-point spread. Something stinks in that one to me. I might take the Mavs in that 6.5. Do like the Warriors to win. But if you do it at MyBookie. Use the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
I had my notes. I was ready to talk about it.
It's a timeless one. We'll do it Monday.
This
Having a little show meeting here.
Show meeting.
Guys, I want to talk a little Lions for you if I could. Lions are favored 3 times all year. Anybody guess which games those are?
Yes, I know 100%.
I knew.
It's 3 of the victories I picked. I only picked them to win. I picked them to win, 5 games?
You did.
And it's 3. I guarantee it's
They're
Jacksonville.
home games.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're all home
Seattle.
games.
Yep.
Seattle.
Chicago.
Yep.
Chicago. But
That's
they're
it.
underdog at Chicago. So
It makes sense.
Put those numbers up there, Fletcher. We can go through it for you.
Well, I can't see
Good
that.
luck with that one.
for
You can.
nothing.
You see that middle line there?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Okay,
Minus
here we go.
4.
Okay.
Minus 4.
There it is. Look back there.
There we go.
Take the mic with you.
The Lions are only more than a touchdown underdog in 1, 2, 3 games this year.
Early. These are early lines before anyone has played a game.
I think the Lions are going to win 10 games.
Last year, they were the best team against the spread.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody of that.
They
were the best team against the spread.
And as Maz says, Braylon, he says, Vegas knows.
Yeah.
Vegas knows. It's 5, 6, or 7.
Is that
Those
how I
are your
talk?
choices.
Is that how I talk?
No.
Vegas
I'm
does
sorry.
know, and Vegas knows that I'm right. Look at that. They picked to win 3.
So do you think they're going to win the 3 games they're favored against?
Yes.
Those are the only 3. And then what are the other 2?
Chicago again.
I think they beat Chicago twice.
Carolina.
That's 5.
And then I said that they would beat one. I said they would have that random game that they
Maybe
have.
Miami,
And
I
I
think
said
you
it would
said.
be Dallas.
You
I said it
did.
would be Dallas or New England.
So they're going to win 6 games according to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I said no more than 6. That's what I picked.
I think they win all 3 of their games they're favored against. And then
I can see them winning 3 games.
And then
too.
I think they beat Philadelphia, Washington.
Let me ask
the
you this.
Giants, the Jets,
Right.
the Panthers.
Let me ask you this question. Off what basis, and I'm not even going to go to all the teams, just this. Off what basis do you think the Detroit Lions beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who went to the playoffs last year, almost won the division last year, are favored to win the division this year, and they have added from free agency and the draft a team and a squad of players that has only gotten better. Defense and offense. You look at the secondary, you look at their defensive line, you look at their offensive line. Their quarterback is basically the early stages of what Russell Wilson was in the beginning, because Russell Wilson wasn't Russell Wilson in the first 4 years. All he did was hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch and throw it to the tight end. And now you had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Doug Goddard.
The Jets and Giants are favored
He
over
asked
them.
me a question. Excuse me.
I'm just asking you, how can the Lions beat them?
Have you ever been inside the Lions' den? Have you ever been inside a Ford Field when it's a raucous atmosphere?
No.
Philly's been inside of Ford Field, and they left 44-6 winners.
Well, we weren't very good last year. You don't play games based on prior year's information.
Yes, you do when you're talking about a team like with the Detroit Lions. You stunk last year.
It's snowballed.
You stunk last year, and you had a good draft. Your free agency is nothing but players that were on the team last year, with the exception of 2 guys.
They could have been a 7-win team last year.
And they also could have been a 0-17 team last year.
They weren't.
Yeah, exactly, on both of those accounts.
3 wins.
I appreciate the optimism. I'm just saying with the Philadelphia. You see, I only pointed out that game. I didn't even point out the rest of it.
Jalen Hurts throw 2 picks.
I'll give you the Lions and
Jeff
7.5
Okudah
on
back.
Thanksgiving. You want the Lions and 7.5 on Thanksgiving?
I don't play like that.
Okay.
I'll take the line. No, the Buffalo Bills are going to destroy the Lions.
Okay, so they're covering.
They're going to win like 50-6.
Okay.
Can't compete with Buffalo, but there isn't a game on this schedule
that the Lions,
other than Buffalo. Excuse me. This is the only for sure loss. Buffalo. That's the only one on the. That's the only one on the schedule.
Right.
One.
Okay.
Buffalo. That's the only for sure.
Not Green Bay?
No, it's 7-win football team.
Okay. Not at Dallas?
At Dallas, no, it is not, because I think you're going to have to turn Dak Prescott into. Dak Prescott doesn't have Amari Cooper anymore, and Ezekiel Elliott to me is done.
I picked that to be the game. I said that I picked that game. I said the Lions are going to surprise me. You know, Lions always have one.
They're always going to lie.
I picked that one to be the one. Like Dallas is. I agree with Ryan. Dallas is not the Dallas that we saw going into 5-0 last year. Well, excuse me, 4-1 because they did lose the first game of the season, although it was very close against Tampa Bay. They didn't know they were going to lose Cedric Wilson, the wide receiver. They gave away Amari Cooper. They gave away a couple of defensive linemen as well as Lyle Collins on the offensive line side. they're in trouble. There is definitely trouble in paradise, and a lot of people aren't high on Dak Prescott that live in the state of Texas.
Without question.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys something now. I put something up here on the sheet. We talked about it briefly. Big Ben Roethlisberger, retired from the Pittsburgh Steelers. It looks like they forced him to retire because he's not very happy the way he was treated at the end of his career in Pittsburgh. So he is not a happy camper. He's learning to deal with it. You could take it from there, Ryan. I wanted to ask Braylon how tough it is to walk away.
Here's the story.
When maybe it's not your time.
Here's the story today. Big Ben had some choice words when asked about the sudden unretirement of ageless Tom Brady and Tom's triumphant return to the Bucs for yet another season. Roethlisberger indicated he was basically unwanted by the Steelers for 2022, telling a radio station in Pittsburgh, quote, "First off, my coach and GM don't want me back," end quote. Then came the cryptic report by the dean of Steelers beat writers, Jerry Dulac, who's wired into the team like nobody else. Dulac was doing an online fan chat for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. When someone asked him about bad blood between Ben and the Steelers, Dulac said, quote, "I would say it's very, very safe to assume that."
Listen, man, this is I'm gonna just approach the Ben Roethlisberger aspect of this. You know what? The hell with it. It's Saturday. This is bullshit. It is, and this is why. You know how many people this organization spurned, got rid of, tossed aside for Ben Roethlisberger?
Yep.
Do you know how many times Ben Roethlisberger narked on teammates or pointed out teammates or got teammates, you know what I'm saying, turned on by their fan base, by the media? How many times that happened? Do you know what I mean? Literally, they wouldn't draft quarterbacks or try to replace. They didn't even protect their future when Ben Roethlisberger was there, because they didn't want to hurt Ben Roethlisberger's feelings. They didn't even have a quarterback waiting. They didn't have a situation in place when it was all said and done because because of his feelings. All that they've done from Ben Roethlisberger, I can go down the list of players that they have gotten rid of or tossed to the side that were amazing players for the black and gold. And this is the conversation that you want to have. Nobody forced you to retire because you had something left in the tank. They were doing you a solid because you were ruining the end of your career, your Hall of Fame career. I watched that doggone in that Monday night game. Was it them and the Browns?
So bad.
Yeah, that's
it is
when
the
Baker
worst
got sung out
game
too.
I have seen in the last 5 to 10 years. Ben Roethlisberger didn't even look like a shell of himself.
Terrible.
Ben Roethlisberger looked like a shell of himself. He couldn't get the ball downfield. He couldn't hit open receivers. He was getting sacked. I felt bad for him. He was stiff. He couldn't move. They did you a solid by asking you to retire or pushing you into that direction. Now, I get it. Nobody wants to retire. Hell, I didn't want to retire, especially not that. I thought there was more meat left on the bone, but my knee didn't. You know what I'm saying? I still want to play. Don't be that guy who's having to retire. You had a Hall of Fame career. Now you don't know what to do because all you've ever known is ball. So now you want to come up and stay relative in the media. It's like, oh, well, they pushed me out the door. Because now you want to make it seem like you had something left in the tank. Let us all tell you and do you a favor, Ben Roethlisberger. You didn't. You had a great career. You got 2 Super Bowls out of the deal. I think you played in 4. You had a hell of a career, man. Leave it at that. Don't ruin a situation. This is the only time I'll take up for the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the exception of Mike Tomlin. I will always defend him. They protected you. They did things for you for the last 18 years. Don't be that guy.
Well, this is twofold here because you protect Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, who's that general manager? What's his name?
Kevin Colbert.
Kevin Colbert.
Former Lion.
Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, and the Rooney family.
Yes.
This is what they do. When they're done with you, they're done with you. And they make you go.
It ain't Mike Tomlin that does that. Mike Tomlin
Okay, however, fine. Take Mike Tomlin out. When the Pittsburgh Steelers organization is done with you, they're done with you. If they don't believe you can win football games for them anymore at the price they want you to work for, and this is not a bad thing. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
This is how they've been successful over it because they have no personal attachment to anybody. It ain't personal, it's just business. When they're done with you, they get rid of you. And it's Ben's time. They're done with you. And they let you hang on for an extra year. because you sucked last year, you sucked the year before. They probably did you more of a solid than anybody else because you were Ben Roethlisberger. But you suck, Ben. You're done. It's over. And how he can be so surprised after seeing it done to countless other players throughout the course of a nearly 20-year career is shocking to me. He's seen it happen to everybody. So, sorry, Ben, you're done. And if you weren't done, another team would take a chance on you. Do you know how many teams would be knocking on Tom Brady's door if Tampa Bay didn't want him? It's clear as day nobody wants you, not just the Steelers. So it's twofold.
That's exactly what I said.
I know, but I'm just saying.
That's exactly what this is exactly what I said. The only thing different is you didn't take care of your body like some of your counterparts. You look at Tom and maybe he's upset because Tom is now playing into year 2070, but Tom took care of his body.
You like how I agreed with you there?
I did. You look at the guy who was in his draft class, who was Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers took care of himself because Phillip Rivers played in the NFL 2 years ago, took his team to the playoffs and looked good that year. Still looks good now. He didn't take care of himself. They allowed you 18 years. You won 2 Super Bowls. Give it a rest, big man.
You're like, wait, that's what I said.
I just said this.
I agree with you. We'll be right back. But first, a message from SMA.
You might need SMA. The sports
I do. Trust me.
We all do. The Sports Marketing Agency spreads awareness about mental health and substance abuse. The Sports Marketing Agency and their podcast, The F Word, or This is the F Word, stands for fentanyl. It's about abuse, addiction, and it's also about mental health. Got to get on there, man. Everybody knows somebody that's struggling with mental health. Everybody knows somebody that's struggling with addiction. Or maybe you are that person that's struggling with one or the other or both. Go to thesportsma.com. Just get some answers. Just have the conversation. It is okay to not be okay. Thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, gang, how about this? Taking you right to the weekend here. Woodward Sports Network. Happy to have you along with us. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit that like button as we are over 100 likes on YouTube. We certainly appreciate that. Thank you guys very much. Over 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. Over 30,000 followers on Twitter. Woodward Sports Network, baby. Forget about Tuck. WSN coming.
We came, baby. We came and we're coming again, man. I love it, man. We're doing it, and it's just good to be Friday, man.
Absolutely.
I'm just happy
I know.
It's Friday. It's been a really good week, though.
I'm going to take my bride out for a happy hour.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm going to do.
What you and Nicole going to do?
I don't know. I'm going to go. I'm going to pick her up. I was going to have her come here, but I didn't want to have 2 cars.
Okay.
Going to go home. Going to pick her up. We're going to go have a
Open
happy
the door?
hour. Kids are at my mom's.
You open the door for her?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Gentlemanly.
Check you out over there, Romeo.
Look at that.
You going to get a little?
Oh, stop it, Tom. Okay, thank you very much. Tom, it is the time of the day we like to play Maz's.
Cut his mic off.
Yeah, right.
Cut his mic off. I'll do his videos today for that foolishness. Maz's videos of the day.
Oops.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day. Only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Speaking of getting a little, Matthew Stafford and Kelly Stafford, they have a great relationship, man. I mean, 2 people that just love each other. You just know that. Kelly put this out. This is Matthew getting the Lombardi Trophy delivered to home. Looks like
cool.
He's unwrapping it here. Check this out. There he is in a nice little cloth bag.
Wow.
And there he is. There's Vinny.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't that something? Matthew Stafford with the Lombardi trophy.
I'm so happy for him.
Why did it just come in a regular box like that? Why wasn't it delivered with like Tiffany gloves and
I'm sure
security?
it was. I'm sure it was.
No. But it looked like it was in that box in front of him.
Maybe.
So now is this the real one, or is this like everybody? Does everybody get one?
Well, there's one in the Hall of Fame that stays there all the time.
I know that, and then the team gets
then
one.
Then there's a traveling one and a team one.
Okay, so it's 3. Got it.
Just like the Stanley Cup, the real one stays in Toronto, and then the real one gets to Toronto once it's fixed up after the players beat the hell out of it during that. But there it is, Matthew Stafford getting a hold of the Vince Lombardi trophy.
I was so ready to hold that trophy, man. I already had my plans. Like, we played in the AFC Championship back to back.
I was ready for you
with
to
the
have
Jets. Like, we just knew we were gonna win. It's like both times. We knew, like when we beat San Diego in 09, we knew we were gonna win, and then we don't. And then when we beat the Patriots, #1 seed in Gillette,
can't wait.
And then we had just beat the Steelers 5 weeks before that. We knew we were gonna win again. I was like, I'm gonna take the trophy here, and I'm gonna do that.
And you had the lead in both games.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Hey, keep it with the Lions. You know the guy that's in the end zone. They call him Arrow Man. He holds the arrow up when the other team is trying to kick a field goal or when we're kicking a field goal. Here's Arrow Man getting his Barry Sanders shoes delivered. I think they're the Hall of Fame Classic shoes. Right to his house, to his Lions den.
This is awesome.
There it is.
Wow. Thank you, Barry. I'm telling you, this is one of my greatest things I've ever got. Truly awesome. Thank you.
That's him. That's
amazing.
the Arrow Man. If you want to follow him, Lion fans, one of the better Lion fans. Of course, our #1 guy was here with us just last season.
Crack.
The Crack Man, Ron Cracchiola.
That's
All right,
right.
here's one for you. You guys like juggling?
Sure.
Can you juggle?
Sure. Couple of
How about you,
balls.
Bray? Can you juggle?
I was a great juggler when I was playing football.
Were you this good? This is Katerina Nikiforova.
You didn't
Check
ask me
her
what
out.
I was juggling.
I know what you were juggling. You're still doing.
What in the world?
Look at her. Keep going.
What in the world?
You got to be on something to juggle that.
Look at
good.
this. Look at this. Is she unbelievable?
What in the world? See, I can't juggle my balls that fast.
Look at that.
Look at that.
How much hand-eye coordination do you need
Look
for
at
that,
that.
Bray?
It's really just rhythm, to be honest. Like I've seen it explained. Like I've seen it. We had a juggler come in. I think Pete Carroll brought one in, and he juggled and did some similar stuff. And when he was explaining it, you realize it's just getting into that rhythm.
Yeah.
Once that rhythm happens, you just don't break it.
Wow.
But I never found myself being able to get in a rhythm like this.
It's a real good ball juggler.
I thought you would like that. Here's one for you. Since tomorrow's the Preakness,
Sure.
I wanted to show you
Gorgeous filly.
how a poor horse, well, not a poor horse, they like getting their shoes on.
Sure.
This is a up-and-coming horseshoe girl. Her name is Taylor Owens.
Ooh,
they make
hey,
a lot of
Taylor.
money, by the way, once they get going. You can see her. She's going to get the horse's shoe off.
Oh,
She's going to school for this. This is horseshoeing school.
she's about to get kicked.
There you go. A little horse
Oh.
going to get himself some new shoes.
Oh, I thought she got kicked.
I got a couple horseshoes at home.
Really?
Yeah. You got to keep them up, though.
Oh.
Just like the Colts. And I leave you with one funny
I don't
one.
like horseshoes. They remind me.
You
of
guys
Real
like
quiet.
You guys like the bat flip? I love the bat
I
flip.
love the bat
All right,
flip.
how
I don't
about this
understand why
kid?
you can't do it.
Here's a T-ball bat flip. This kid is an up-and-comer. Check this one out.
Man, that was a bad
Is that awesome?
chuck.
Oh, man, don't stifle that young man's growth. That coach stifling his growth.
Look at that.
That was a bet.
Great hit, and he just chucks that bat.
That was a bet chuck.
Oh, my gosh. Is that great or what?
There's a video going out. I didn't get it in time. It's a dog with a wiffle ball bat, and he's hitting fastballs. I'll play it for you on Monday. I'll play it for you on Monday.
We'll keep it for Monday.
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, have a great weekend. Good luck with the Philly tomorrow.
That's right. I'll be waiting for her. Better.
Oh,
her name is Secret Oath.
Secret Oath.
Secret Oath. Take it to the bank tomorrow.
Take it to the bank, man. Bray, it's been a good weekend, man. Hey, everybody, enjoy the weekend. Like I said yesterday, get outside. It may rain today, but guess what? It'll be nice tomorrow. Get outside, enjoy the love.
Soft-spoken, man. You're so soft-spoken, man.
Now it's the weekend, baby.
Hey, man, I'm smooth. We've been talking for the last 2 hours.
Oh, I know it, man. I don't want to
Excuse
talk.
me, not you. You've been talking for 7 hours.
I don't want to talk
my sister's
to nobody.
baby shower is Sunday. So I'm excited to go to the baby shower. It's kind of like the official deal.
Yes.
So I'm excited, man.
All right,
Shout out
man.
to my baby sis.
Love you guys. We'll see you Monday.
We're out of here, man. Bottom line, good show. Fletch, Sam, appreciate you guys.
That's
buddy.
what's up.